What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and we finally laid this what if to rest, as this is the season 1 finale for what if Dawn took the gym challenge. So let's go for 150 likes on the full series video when it comes out. If we hit that, I'll continue this series to the other regions. So since we have a lot to cover, being Dawn getting the rest of her badges, the Sinnoh League, and a really good 6v6 battle, let's get started. We left off last time with Dawn getting her 4th gym badge. So the next episode we have to cover is Hungry for the Good Life, with Dawn to go help heading to the Backlot Mansion to get out of the storm, and during this episode, Dawn meets a Swinub. And with Dawn's stronger Pokemon, the Team Rocket fight goes easier, with Dawn using Kadabra with Ash's Pikachu to send him blasting off. And then Dawn catches her Swinub, Light Cannon being the final catch for this what if. Sorry, Cynic One Togekiss. The next episode is Fighting Fear with Fear, aka the episode where Gligar evolves. And honestly, since it's an Ash episode, and Ash is the main focus of this what if, although Dawn probably could help Gligar with its fear of heights by using Kadabra's Psychic as sort of a flight simulator, and Ash's Gliscor managing the perfect X-Scissor. The next episode is Arriving in Style, where Dawn and Ash enter a fashion show, and it's revealed that Fantina is in her gym. Again! Like, seriously, Sinnoh gym leaders, how do you keep your job if you're never at your gym? Take notes from Candice, people. Although Dawn wins the fashion show easier than in canon thanks to Lopunny, and Dawn gets Ash to keep her Poke-Cheat campaign, although she turns it down to continue on the gyms. Now we arrive at 4-part Pokemon Summer Academy arc, and after being separated to the red team, the blue team, and the green team, Dawn and Co are on the red team, so we'll just focus on them. The pairs are the same as in canon, with Ash getting a Raichu, Angie getting a Monferno, Dawn getting a Grimer, and Brock getting a Magnemite. And during this training, they have to help their Pokemon overcome their issues, which leads to Ash trying to help boost Raichu's confidence. And with Pikachu's help, encourages Raichu to use Focus Punch on a boulder. Now for the battles, with Brock using Magnemite against Jesselinda's Smoochum, but this battle is a no contest result, due to Jesselinda taking a Thunder for Smoochum. Dawn decides to use some contest moves against Conway, but due to them being evenly matched, it just ends in a tie. Ash and Angie use Raichu and Monferno, with Mach Punch and Focus Punch clashing and cancel each other out. Then Raichu tries escaping a Flame Wheel using Dig, but Monferno switches to Ember mid-attack. Raichu jumps out of the ground and uses Double Team, and he uses Thunderbolt to score a hit on Monferno. Then Monferno uses Ember against Raichu's Thunderbolt, but time runs out. The next episode is Up Close and Personable. Dawn and Go head to the lake to observe Water-type Pokemon, and unfortunately, Pikachu, Shinx, and Prinplup get hypnotized, but they can only say Prinplup. And the 4 trainers decide to make this Lumineon the topic of the report, and they get a score of 6 for it. It was originally a score of 10, but they lost 4 points of breaking a rule. The next episode is Ghoul Days, where Ash being the Dusknoir and stuff a spooky ghost girl. The final episode of this arc is 1 team, 2 team, red team, blue team. And this is a Pokemon triathlon, with Ash using a Spoink, Mantike, and his Pikachu. And Ash manages to barely win by a nose. Team Rocket has another episode trying to work off all the food from the Pokemon Summer Camp, and they decide to go back to basics during this time. Dawn tries training her Pokemon, but she overdoes it, leading to a stay at a Pokemon Center. The next episode is Playing the Lovely Field, and during this time, Dawn could meet Fantina, and Ash still has a battle with Fantina and forfeits. But Dawn does see Fantina's strategy and decides to help Ash counter Hypnosis, leading to 2 of them creating the Counter Shield. So since Dawn's doing contests as much, they just head back to Heartome City, leaving to skip all the Celeste Town episodes. The next episode we're covering is A Trainer and Child Reunion. During this episode, Dawn and Co meet Aaron of the Elite Four, and Dawn doesn't really do all that much in this episode, so it can go as canon, except Piplup is now a Prinplup. The next episode is A the Enemy, Aaron gets decimated by Cynthia, Ash and Paul have a battle where Turtwig evolves in a Grottle, and becomes noticeably slower. But afterward, Paul's Torterra teaches Grotle how to deal with speed problem by focusing on its defenses. Dawn and Cody arrive back at Heartome City and meet Barry. And both Ash and Dawn decide to have a battle with Barry, since Barry saw Dawn's Prinplup, and he decided he wants to try and train it. Ash battles first, with using Pikachu, Chimchar, and Gliscor against Barry's Empoleon, Roserade, and Staraptor. Honestly, this battle would go easier than in canon, due to Ash's stronger Pokemon, thanks to having Dawn's stronger team as training partners. Now for Dawn's battle, where she used Prinplup, Charmeleon, and Luxio. Prinplup because Barry requested a ballot, Charmeleon counter Roserade, and Luxio because it hasn't had any action for a little bit. Luxio and Staraptor go out first, with Luxio opening up the battle with Crunch. Using Staraptor's Aerial Ace, but however, Staraptor uses its superior speed and it lands a close combat. But Luxio, after taking the close combat, lands a Thunder Fang, paralleling Staraptor. But Staraptor manages to take a Luxio in their close combat, leaving Dawn with 2. Charmeleon comes up and finishes weakening Staraptor with a Flamethrower and Dragon Claw combination, making the battle 2-on-2. Roserade comes out second for Barry, and Dawn was prepared for this, since she picked Charmeleon for this battle. Roserade uses Poison Jab, and Charmeleon uses Dragon Claw, and the two Pokemon clash hand in hand-to-hand combat, with Charmeleon using Flamethrower of Roserade's feet to gain some ground. Then Charmeleon uses her Flamethrower to knock out Roserade, leaving Barry with Chess's Empoleon, which comes out third and uses Hydro Pump to one-shot Charmeleon, leaving Dawn with Chester Prinplup. And now it's a battle again between Prinplup and Empoleon. Empoleon uses Hyper Beam, while Prinplup tries to defend the Metal Claw as a shield. But Empoleon is very tired under the Hyper Beam, so Prinplup uses Drill Peck, and then Prinplup manages to learn Liquidation to knock out Empoleon, making Dawn the winner of this battle. The next episode we're covering is Shields with a Twist, and Dawn battles Fantina first, then Prinplup, Lopunny, and Charmeleon against Fantina's Gengar, Drifblim, and Miss Magius. Gengar and Lopunny come out first for Fantina and Dawn, with Lopunny opening up the battle with Ice Beam, and using Bounce afterward, with Gengar trying to use Ghost-type moves, but due to normal-type Pokemon being immune to Ghost-type moves, this goes right through Lopunny. Although Gengar can't use his Ghost-type moves, it can still use Poison-type moves, such as Sludge Bomb. But Gengar tries to use Hypnosis, but Dawn commands Lopunny to use Ice Beam while spinning, making it look like a figure skater, creating the first counter shield and knocking out Gengar with her Ice Beam, leaving Fantina with 2. Dawn also has to call back Lopunny for later. Miss Magius and Charmeleon come out second for Fantina and Dawn, but Fantina reveals that Miss Magius can't learn Hypnosis. But Dawn knows to watch out for Magical Leaf from Zoe's contest battle. Charmeleon starts a Flamethrower, and Miss Magius fires into its Psywave. However, Charmeleon uses her Counter Shield, which deflects both a Psywave and a Magical Leaf. But Miss Magius destroys the Counter Shield with Psywave. And unfortunately for Fantina, Miss Magius ends up getting knocked out by a Dragon Claw, leaving Fantina with her Drifblim. Dawn calls back Charmeleon, and then Prinplup, with Fantina calling her final Pokemon Drifblim. Prinplup uses a spinning Water Gun and Water Pulse and a Counter Shield, and this will result in Fantina making a Counter Shield to counter the Counter Shield. Say that 5 times fast. Drifblim uses Hypnosis and Ominous Wind in a combination knock out Prinplup, leaving Dawn with Lopunny and Charmeleon. Lopunny comes out second and uses Bounce to get close to Drifblim, and he uses Ice Beam, leading Drifblim to take a lot of damage from the super active attack. But Drifblim is second to send Lopunny crashing into the ground. Drifblim uses Will-O-Wisp on Lopunny, leaving with a burn, which will weaken its physical attacks. Drifblim uses Psychic to hold Lopunny in place and smashes it Hulk style, which knocks out Lopunny, leaving Dawn with her Charmeleon. Charmeleon uses the Flamethrower Counter Shield again, and he managed to absorb Drifblim's Will-O-Wisp to turn the flames purple and make them stronger. And it managed to knock out Drifblim after using Dig and a close range Flamethrower, allowing Dawn to get her 5th badge added to her case. Ash's battle goes into canon, although Ash's Pokemon are stronger this timeline. Fantina knows about and how to counter the counter shield, so it balances it out. The next episode we'll cover is Jumpin' Rocket Ship. Dawn and Coach has to take a blip to Candice City, and honestly, I don't see this episode changing all that much. Although there is no Pachirisu since she never caught it in this timeline. The next episode is Sleepless in pre-battle. Darnico arrived at Candice Gym, where to learn Byron's way to Iron Island, and all the citizens sleep deprived from constant nightmares due to a Darkrai. And during this episode, Swinub manages to evolve into a Piloswine, and we see a battle between Cresselia and Team Rocket. The next episode is Get Your Rotom Running. On request of Professor Rowan, Darnico check out the old chateau, and this episode is mainly known for being Rotom's debut episode. And honestly, this episode could go as canon, with Pachirisu getting swapped out for Luxio. The next episode breeds Stampede, Piloswine manages to evolve on the Maloswine and learn Ancient Power. While battling Team Rocket, Gliscor manages to learn Fire Fang, and Grottle tries taking the lesson that Polystorterra taught it, how to compensate for its weaker speed by using its stronger defenses. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, Maloswine wouldn't disobey Dawn in this timeline. Also, Ash and Dawn learn to can't let gym leaders back. So the next episode is Ancient Family Matters, and this episode doesn't change, since Dawn doesn't battle in this episode. Now you're ready for the next gym battle, with dealing with defensive types. Ash battles Byron first, since Dawn battles first on the odd numbered gyms, and Ash battles first on the even numbered gyms. And his battle goes in canon, although it will allow Dawn to make a strategy, and possibly the Maloswine in a gym battle. Now Dawn waits a day, since Byron has to get his Pokemon healed up. 24 hours pass, and now Dawn begins her battle with Byron, using Prinplup, Charmeleon, and Maloswine. And Byron uses the same Pokemon to use against Ash. Charmeleon and Bronzor come out first, with Charmeleon opening the battle with a Flamethrower. Although it doesn't do as much as it normally would, thanks to Bronzor's Heat-Proof ability. However, Bronzor decides to go for Rain Dance, and try making Charmeleon's Fire-type moves. Although it uses Dead Food at the Rain Dance, since if its tail goes out, it dies. Charmeleon then hits Bronzor with Dig, although Bronzor hits back with Gyro Ball, and Charmeleon fires a Flamethrower, with Bronzor using her Gyro Ball, which results in an explosion, knocking Bronzor out, but Charmeleon is severely weakened. So Dawn calls it back for later. Prinplup and Steelix come out next, with Prinplup using Liquidation and propelling itself with Water Gun, although Steelix uses Screech to hold it back. And though Steelix takes damage from both Liquidation and Water Gun, Steelix uses Bind and Iron Tail. It'll slam Prinplup into the ground, knocking it out. Charmeleon comes out again, although it has recovered somewhat, with Charmeleon just a maneuver that Chimchar used. Tries knocking out Steelix, but with a different finisher, since Charmeleon can't learn Flame Wheel. So, it ends up learning Fire Blast to take the win, leaving Byron with just his prize Bastiodon. Byron's in Bastiodon on last, with Charmeleon's in her Fire Blast, and Bastiodon in Iron Defense, and then Metal Burst to knock out Charmeleon by slamming into a couple of rocks, leaving Dawn with just her Mamoswine. So Dawn sent out the Mammoth Pokemon with it using Earthquake, and Bastiodon using Iron Head and Metal Burst. All the Mammoths are Earthquake and knocks out Bastiodon during this battle. Dawn gets her 6th gym badge and adds it to her case. The next episode we'll talk about is Steely Peace of Mind. Dawn will go head to Iron Island to a suggestion from Barry. However, there's a weird frequency it's only affecting Steel-type Pokemon. But luckily, none of our heroes have any Steel types. And we have our first Team Galactic fight since Dawn never went to Celestic Town. The next episode is Saving the World from Ruins, and this continues the Team Galactic fight right from last episode. And honestly, I think this episode could go as canon. Mary Jane is Carmeling Vine Whip, and Darnico stopping Team Galactic. Next operation. Although they escape with the Spear Key. She's on Castaway Haza. Island's the next episode, with Prinplup and Pikachu being stranded on a desert island. And this episode, with Chocovine Town. Hold the Fiona is next. Except it goes the same, except Baneri is placed for a Lopunny. Another one goodbyes to Dust. Is next with Dawn meeting Ursula, although Dawn decides to enter the contest with Ambipom. And she manages to win using Kadabra. Now they're getting headed out to Snowpoint City for Ash and Dawn's 7th gym battle. Still in conversation is the next episode, and honestly, this one goes as canon with minor changes, such as Piplup being replaced by Primplup. The Drifting Snowrunt is next, and a Frostlass helps our heroes in Team Rocket out of a blizzard. But Frostlass just wants to find its friend Snowrunt, and it doesn't trust humans, so it holds Meowth and Primplup hostage. Dawn goes behind the Snowrunt, but it's being chased by a poacher and his Glalie. So Dawn uses Lopunny and Charmeleon, while Ash uses Chimchar. Being Team Rocket helps out Carnivine and Gamega, and this battle would be easier thanks to the extra health from Charmeleon and Lopunny being stronger than Baneri. Honestly, the next episode is a Team Rocket episode, so it doesn't change at all. Pursuing a Lofty Goal is next with Ash and Staravia entering a Pokeringer. Since this is an Ash episode, it doesn't change. Since Staravia is stronger, and evolves to a Staraptor all the same. Trial and Adulations is the next episode, and due to Mamoswine obeying earlier, the main conflict of the episode is non-existent, as Mamoswine was taking down Aggron earlier. The Lonely Snover is next, and while I think Ash should have caught the Snover in canon, this what if doesn't focus on him. So unfortunately, no Snover for Ash. But Growl does learn Rock Climb in this episode, so that's a plus. Stop the Name of Love is next, and this episode of a rich-ass Piplup trying to prevent this evolution. But since Piplup already became a Primplup, it actually managed to evolve into Empoleon, while saving both Barry's Empoleon and Kenny's Primplup from Team Rocket. And Barry tells Dawn about the Pokemon Ping Pong tournament. And we'll see after the next episode since Dawn isn't entering in contests as much in this timeline. Other than a contest, it's just Ash, Barry, and Dawn's Ambipom training for the Ping Pong tournament. Now it's time for the Ping Pong tournament. In 2 Sinnoh Pokemon be true. And Ash still uses Ambipom, who's the O in Shiftry. But this time, Dawn doesn't release Ambipom. Because honestly, that was a really stupid way to write off a character. The next episode is battling a cute drama. Honestly, this episode can go as canon with minor changes, such as Piplup is now Empoleon, and Baneri is now Lopunny. Now our heroes finally arrive at Snowpoint City, the site of Ash and Dawn's 7th gym battle. Ash and Dawn meet Candice, and they make preparations for the 7th gym battle, with Dawn battling first. The battle is a 4-on-4, with Dawn using Kadabra, Charmeleon, Empoleon, and Mamoswine against Candice's Sneasel, Medicham, Snover, and Abomasnow. Sneasel and Mamoswine go first, and although Mamoswine has a speed disadvantage, it makes up for it with its bulk. Mamoswine uses Ancient Power to try and hit Sneasel, but Sneasel ends up being too fast, and then Mamoswine charges Sneasel, learning Giga Impact, and it knocks out Sneasel with a new attack, leaving Candice with 3. Medicham comes out second, while Dawn recalls Mamoswine for later, sending in Empoleon. Empoleon uses Aqua Jet to close the distance between itself and Medicham, but Medicham holds it back with Confusion, which Ash warns Dawn that Medicham isn't only a fighting type, it's also a psychic type. So Dawn decides to play it safe and use ranged attacks such as Flash Cannon and Hydro Pump. And after those attacks, Empoleon uses Aqua Jet and catches Medicham off guard with a Liquidation. This knocks out Medicham, leaving Candice with 2, while Dawn still has all 4 of her Pokemon. So Candice and Snover, so Dawn has Empoleon go for a Drill Peck, and Snover goes for Bullet Seed, and then Woodhair knocking Empoleon to decrease Dawn's lead. Charmeleon comes out, a third for Dawn can do Flamethrower, but Snover tries a sneak attack on Charmeleon, but Dawn tells Charmeleon to look behind it, and Charmeleon responds to the sneak attack with a close-range Fire Blast. This knocks out Snover, and leaving Candice just at her Abomasnow, which can outlast for Candice, but after a few flamethrowers, Dawn decides to call back Charmeleon for later, sending Kadabra, which uses Psychic to slam Abomasnow into the ground. Abomasnow uses Wood Hammer, and using its body weight, it knocks out Kadabra with 1 shot, leaving Dawn just Mamoswine and Charmeleon. So Dawn decided to use Mamoswine's bulk, and while Woodhoof, Bearbite, and Kadabra did, it just gets knocked out by a wood hammer. But it does damage to Bombasnow a lot. Charmeleon comes out last and manages to finish the job with a Fire Blast, allowing Dawn to get her 7th badge added to her case. Ash's battle will go easier than in canon, and Chimchar managed to evolve into Monferno earlier, due to him being a lot stronger. The next episode we'll cover is a Pyramiding Rage. And honestly, this episode doesn't change, since Dawn doesn't battle in this episode, and the only events that happen are Brandon and Paul have a 6-on-6 battle, with Paul getting decimated without Brandon breaking a sweat. Pillars of Friendship is next, and this episode goes the same with minor changes, such as Piplup getting replaced by Empoleon. Now Dawn will go ahead to Lake Acuity for Ash's battle with Paul. Honestly, the Lake Acuity battle could go as canon, but easier for Ash thanks to his stronger Pokemon and Chimchar's Monferno earlier. And I could see Ash being more than 2 of Paul's Pokemon. Uncrushing Defeat is next, and during this, Brock sees Uxie. Dawn saw Mesprit, very like in canon, and the same goes for Ash and his elf. The Twin Leaf Festival is next, and the battle tournament goes as canon, except Dawn's fighting Ash in the finals. Also, Empoleon versus Pikachu. Empoleon goes for Drill Peck and uses Aqua Jet to close the distance, for Pikachu managed to clash with Volt Tackle. And unfortunately for Dawn, Ash wins the tournament, allowing him a battle with Palmer. But don't worry, I've got another Elite Four level trainer to battle Dawn soon. So we'll just skip all the episodes to Team Galactic arc, since Dawn isn't motivated to do contests as much. Cyrus hires Hunter J to catch Uxie, Mesprit, and his elf. Dawn and Co rescue Luker from the Waco Ironworks. The Red Chain's creation is complete, and Spear Pillar's gateway is discovered by Team Galactic. The Needs of the Three is next episode, with Dawn and Co meeting up with Cynthia again. Hunter J catching the Lake Guardian successfully, although she kinda perishes because of her ship getting destroyed by Uxie and Mesprit's future sites. I know, kinda dark ending. And our heroes can teleport to Team Galactic HQ before the Lake Guardians fully placed under Cyrus' control. And our heroes meet Cyrus for the first time since they were in Celestic Town. The battle finale of Legend is the final episode of this 3-episode Team Galactic arc. And during this episode, Brock's Krogunk managed to defeat Saturn's Toxicroak. Our heroes managed to free the Lake Guardians for Cyrus' control, and Dialga and Palkia are briefly summoned. Although Cyrus steps into the portal Dialga and Palkia created, with his fate being unknown to this day, and Team Galactic is now disbanded. The next episode is mainly a Team Rocket episode, with the trio meeting Jezebel again, who bears a striking resemblance to Jessie, and James reunites with Growly. The next episode we'll cover is Mastering Current Events. And during this episode, Ashley's Gliscor to train with the Air Battle Master, and his Scizor. Gliscor also learns how to use Giga Impact in this episode. Zoe ends up winning her 5th ribbon, so Dawn decides the Sinnoh Grand Festival will be a good place to go, since she wants to support her friend. Ash manages to catch Gibble, while Ash decides to help Gibble master Draco Meteor, although it doesn't have Piplup as a target anymore. So it manages to master Draco Meteor earlier, thanks to the help of Ash's other Pokemon, especially Staraptor, which uses speed to help. Weasel manages to learn Ice Punch while training with Mr. Mime. He could, in theory, use Ice Aqua Jet without help from an Ice Beam. Ash manages to keep the Pokeathlon and finish second to a rather well-trained Snorlax. The Daybreak Town contest goes as canon, with Dawn's Gear Plus Minun being exploited, and Dawn manages to go over Gear Plus Minun and beats Ursula. However, Dawn learns from Zoe that the Sinnoh Grand Festival is located at Lake Valor. Yes, I know. She didn't win on 5 ribbons, so she learns this during a video chat with Zoe. On top of that, Barry tells the games that all of his badges, plus Monferno evolves to Infernape. Flint sparks the fires next, with Donico arriving to Science Shore Gym, and they started Voltor just giving out badges for free without battling. However, both Ash and Dawn won't earn the last badges, and Ash battles Flint and loses, but it is an intense fight, so Voltor gets his passion for battles back. Ash and Voltor try to start their battle, although gets interrupted by Team Rocket. Although Grotto manages to finally evolve into Torterra, meaning our group finally has all 3 fully evolved Sinnoh starters. But the gym battle has had to be postponed until the gym gets repaired. And during their trip to the Sinnoh Grand Festival, Darling helped Johanna teach a Pokemon class, helped Marley with a Shaman. He also had a Pokemon Ranger named Ben with a Heatran, and run to Bertha, the Sinnoh Elite Four, who Ash battled with Torterra and loses. And Darnico reunite with Lucian. This is a new change I added to help with Kadabra's character arc. He then asks Dawn how things are going with Kadabra. So Dawn tells Lucian all about how Kadabra's listening to her now. So Lucian decides to test this by challenging Dawn to a full 6-on-6 battle. This is how we prepare for full battles in the Sinnoh League, with Dawn getting Empoleon, Kadabra, Lopunny, Luxio, Charmeleon, and Mamoswine. Against Lucian's Bronzong, Alakazam, Espeon, Gallade, Girafarig, and Mr. Mime. Girafarig and Luxio come out first for Dawn and Lucian, with Luxio opening the battle with Crunch and Thunderbolt. But Girafarig using Light Screen reduces damage with Thunderbolt, although he does take some damage from Crunch. But Girafarig fires back with a Psychic and then sets up a Trick Room, which makes Luxio slower, Girafarig faster. Which means Girafarig straight knocks out Luxio with a Psychic, leaving Dawn with just 5. Mamoswine comes out second, and since Mamoswine can use its bulk to take attacks, Girafarig tries firing her Psychic at Mamoswine, although it fires back with an Earthquake, knocking out the Giraffe Pokemon. Mr. Mime comes out second for Lucian, with it using Reflect and using Dazzling Gleam to hit Mamoswine. But it uses Ancient Power and an Earthquake, which deals a lot of damage to Mr. Mime, so Mamoswine fires an Ice Fang to freeze Mr. Mime, and Earthquake knocks it out, leaving Lucian with 4. So he's sending Gallade uses Close Combat attack on Mamoswine rather easily, leaving Dawn with Empoleon, Charmeleon, Lopunny, and Kadabra. So Lopunny comes out third for Dawn, and uses Dizzy Punch to try and confuse Gallade. But Gallade would just hit Lopunny with a Poison Jab using Psycho Cut. So Dawn recalls Lopunny for later and an Empoleon, and she knows it can take a lot of hits due to its Steel typing. So it uses Drill Peck and Aqua Jet, using super effective damage to Gallade. And then Empoleon uses Flash Cannon and finishes up Gallade with a Hydro Pump, leaving Lucian with 3 while Dawn has 4. Lucian is into his Medicham, where it deals with Empoleon rather easily. He thanks to moves like High Jump Kick and Thunder Punch, making this battle 3-on-3. Lopunny comes back out, uses Ice Beam to try and freeze Medicham. But I tried hitting High Jump Kick, but Lopunny uses Bounce to dodge, leading to Medicham crashing. Although it decides to use a combination of Thunder Punch and Ice Punch, but after the bounce, this results in a double KO. Even Lucian uses Bronzong and Alakazam, and Dawn just Charmeleon and Kadabra. Charmeleon and Bronzong come out next, with Charmeleon using Flamethrower and Bronzong using Earthquake. But luckily thanks to Charmeleon training with Mamoswine, it knows how to avoid Earthquake by using Flamethrower as a makeshift rocket. And then while Charmeleon's in the air, it uses Fire Blast. Using the Flamethrower rocket strategy again, it gets close to using a close-range Fire Blast, bringing Bronzong close to fainting. But Bronzong hits Charmeleon with a Rock Slide, and uses a Psychic at the same time as Charmeleon using a Fire Blast, which results in their double KO, leaving this battle 1-on-1. So it's Kadabra versus Alakazam. And the two go and clash with Psychics and Shadow Balls, but Kadabra uses Dark Pulse, which catches Alakazam off guard, dealing a lot of damage. Kadabra sets up a Combine for his special stats, and he uses another Dark Pulse to defeat Alakazam, meaning Kadabra finally beats its rival. So Lucian takes the game to the nearby Pokemon Center, where after everyone gets their Pokemon healed up, Lucian asks Dawn if she wants to evolve our Kadabra into an Alakazam. Dawn has a tough time deciding, but she leaves the decision up to Kadabra, and agrees. So Lucian and Dawn trade back, and Dawn sets up Kadabra, which then evolves into Alakazam. So now we head to the Sinnoh Grand Festival to give Zoe moral support. After Dawn competing, Zoe wins against Nando, becoming a top coordinator. The 8th wonder of the Sinnoh world is next, where Ash and Dawn can finally battle Volkner for their 8th badge. And Dawn tells Flint how she managed to defeat Lucian. So Ash battles Volkner, and that goes as canon, but it does allow Dawn to formulate a strategy against Volkner's team, with her using Mamoswine, Empoleon, and Alakazam. Volkner uses the same team as Ash by sending Electivire, but due to Dawn knowing the Electivire's access to Ice Punch, she decides to play it safe and use Alakazam, with Alakazam opening its battle with Psychic and Shadow Ball, and Electivire taking Fire Punch, Punch and Ice Punch together, and then Wild Charge, taking some recoil damage from the attack, but Alakazam is severely damaged. Alakazam then goes for Shadow Ball, and it manages to knock out Electivire with a Psychic. I mean, Alakazam is severely weakened, but it also leaves Volkner with 2. Jolteon comes out second into its speed, multiple Shadow Balls from all angles. Although Alakazam tries to hold him back with Psychic, but fails, leading Alakazam to get knocked out. Male's Wine comes out second, uses Earthquake. He uses Ice Fang, which deals massive damage to Jolteon. And Jolteon, he uses Shadow Ball. And Male's Wine, he uses Earthquake to knock out Jolteon. But Dawn decides to call up Male's Wine for later, so she did Napoleon against Voltor's Luxray. And while this would be an amazing fight, Luxray would win. But it would be weak enough for Male's Wine to take the win with the Earthquake. Dawn gets the Beacon Badge to complete her case. So now Ash and Dawn have 1 month to train for the Sinnoh League. Now we do an old family blend, aka the episode where Ash's old Pokemon come back for the Sinnoh League, and the episode where Ash's Cyndaquil evolves. And now we can finally move back into the Sinnoh League, where Ash faces Nando and Dawn faces some random trainer, where they both win and learn from Barry by a mysterious trainer with a Darkrai. And Dawn ends up battling 2 more trainers, since Ash the one battles Nando and Conway, and Barry and Paul will battle each other. Yes, I know that was kind of rushed, but now it's time for the quarterfinals, where Ash faces Paul and Dawn battles Tobias. Ash versus Paul is the same as the canon, as that battle is pure perfection in terms of Pokemon standards. So Ash moves to the semifinals, and now for Dawn's battle with Tobias, where Dawn uses Empoleon, Luxio, Alakazam, Mamoswine, Charmeleon, and Leafeon. And Tobias just using Darkrai. Luxio and Darkrai come out first, with Darkrai opening battle with Ice Beam. And after when Luxio uses Thunderbolt, and Dark uses Dark Void to put Luxio to sleep, and uses Dream Mirror to knock out Luxio, leaving Dawn with just 5. Charmeleon comes out second, with Charmeleon using Flamethrower and Dragon Claw. Although Darkrai uses Dark Pulse to knock out Charmeleon in 1 shot. Leafeon comes out third for Dawn, and uses Leaf Blade and Solar Beam. Although Darkrai uses Ice Beam to freeze Leafeon in place. I uses Dark Void and Dream Mirror to knock out Leafeon, leaving Dawn with just 3 Pokemon without Darkrai breaking a sweat. Male came out fourth to Dawn, uses Earthquake and Ice Fang. Although Darkrai uses Dark Pulse to weaken Mamoswine, and uses Dark Void and Dream Mirror to knock out Mamoswine, although Darkrai is somewhat damaged. And Empoleon comes out 5th, and for Dawn, he uses Hydro Pump and Aqua Jet into a liquidation, making Darkrai closer to fainting, although Darkrai uses Dark Pulse, and Empoleon clashes with it using Flash Cannon, although Empoleon ends up getting knocked out, but Alakazam is extremely close to fainting, and Alakazam Darkrai, leaving Dawn chase her Alakazam, so it comes out last for Dawn, uses Focus Blast and Dazzling Gleam to knock out Darkrai, making Dawn the first person to ever defeat Tobias' Darkrai in this timeline. But Tobias' Latios comes up next and one-shots Alakazam with Giga Impact, taking Dawn out of the tournament. But luckily for Ash, he knows how to beat Darkrai. So we'll head into his match with Tobias with him using Heracross, Charizard, Gible, Sceptile, Snorlax, and Pikachu. I swapped out Torkoal for Charizard, since Torkoal did basically nothing during the battle. Swallow got swapped out for Snorlax, since Ash reserves Snorlax for tough battles, and this is easily one of his toughest. And Tobias is Darkrai and Latios. Heracross comes out first against Darkrai, and since Ash knows how to counter Dark Void, Heracross uses Mega Horn to deal super effective damage. Although Darkrai tries using Dark Void, Heracross has Sleep. Although Heracross uses Sleep Talk, which luckily it lands on Mega Horn and deals super effective damage, which leads to Darkrai coming ladder close to fainting, but Darkrai uses Dream Eater to knock out Heracross, leaving Ash with 5, so he sends in Charizard, he uses Flamethrower to deal Darkrai good damage, and then Charizard finishes Darkrai with his signature Seismic Toss, meaning Ash takes Darkrai down earlier, leaving Tobias with 5, although healing showed Latios in canon. So Latios comes out and takes down Charizard for a good fight. So Ash is down to 4, and Latios takes some good damage. So he sent in Gible, he uses Rock Smash, although Latios uses Luster Purge, and Gible uses the Master Draco Meteor, and all the orbs manage to hit Latios, which knocks it out. And after this, Gible manages to evolve into Gabite. Tobias then says, "Wow, I congratulate you, Ash. No one has ever defeated 2 of my Pokemon, so now, meet my 3rd Pokemon!" Tobias then calls in Entei, and it uses Solar Beam to knock out Gabite, leaving Ash with just 3. Sceptile comes out 4th, with Entei using her Flamethrower and Fire Blast, But Sceptile using Leaf Blade creating some sort of tornado. But Entei uses Flamethrower, and unfortunately, wind can make flames stronger. And this would knock out Sceptile, but Entei is close to fainting. Snorlax is up 5th, and uses Hyper Beam to lift itself up. And using Body Slam, make Entei turn flat as a pancake in convenient fashion. Meaning Entei gets knocked out. So Tobias calls in his Lugia 4th. And he uses Aero Blast, and using Focus Blast to get Snorlax closer to fainting, and Lugia using their Aero Blast to knock out Snorlax, leaving Ash with only his Pikachu. So he sends it out and turns his hat around. We all know when Ash turns his hat around, things get serious. Pikachu uses Volt Tackle to closer to Lugia, and connects with a Thunderbolt. So Lugia uses Psychic to slam Pikachu into a wall, but Pikachu has to use Thunderbolt and Iron Tail. Bring Lugia closer to fainting, but Lugia uses an Earthquake to knock out Pikachu, taking Ash out of the tournament. He managed to knock out 3 of Tobias' Pokemon, so he does better than in canon. So normally, this would be the end of the story, but before Ash and Brock go to Kanto, Dawn asks Ash for one final battle. This is a one-on-one for Pikachu versus Empoleon. Pikachu and Empoleon come out, and they clash with Aqua Jet and Volt Tackle. But Pikachu uses Thunderbolt when Empoleon gets ready to use Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt, and these moves clash and explode, leading to Pikachu and Empoleon close to fainting. But Empoleon charges up a Liquidation with Flash Cannon combo, with Pikachu using Volt Tackle. And the two clash, and with that, I'll lead the story off here. And who wins? I'll let you guys decide that in the comments. So remember, 150 likes on the full series guarantees a season 2. I'll get on out of here. Peace!